Hello everyone, it's me, Vivi, and welcome to another Rift Apart video. Insomniac Games shared, I guess, what I like to call info cards on Rift Apart. We don't have an overwhelming number of cards, but there's a couple of things I find very intriguing when looking at these. If Insomniac Games is planning on releasing stuff like this, weekly until launch, that'd be super fun. Now the first thing I want to bring to your attention. We finally have an official, clear render of Ratchet's latest character model. If you recall, this model had surfaced during the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, which was a while back. I think 3 months, something like that. I think we can all agree that this is close to his finalized model. Comparing this model to the announcement trailer one, maybe it's the angle, but looking at the latest one, it seems like his nose was redefined. It's like pointing more downwards. But then looking at the extended gameplay, the nose placement seems similar. Maybe the cheeks this time. Surely something was tweaked, and I gotta say, I'm really pleased with his model on the PlayStation 5. Now looking towards the bottom left corner, we have Lombax writing. Using Lombax language translation I found on Ratchet Galaxy, the letters, well symbols, seem to translate to lost, Lombax. Some might believe lost is a typo. Maybe Insomniac Games meant to write last Lombax in this case. Like the whole last Lombax model thing ever since the death of Alistair Azimuth. If this were a typo, I feel Insomniac Games would have quickly noticed the error. And like someone said in the replies on Twitter, A and O on the keyboard are really far apart. So I'd like to believe it's indeed lost Lombax. Lost in this case would basically mean that Ratchet is lost through dimensions. In fact, Ratchet does lose Clank at some point on planet Erdolis, and he is going to travel to different dimensions, I assume. Surely that would indicate that Ratchet is indeed lost, trying to look for his BFF, as Insomniac Games calls it. So yeah, about Clank being Ratchet's BFF, best friend forever, this one I feel has something cool to think about. Ratchet's future goal, reunite with Clank. When Ratchet's BFF goes missing, you can bet he'll do anything in his power to get his buddy back. Alright, one thing's easily understandable. Clank finds a mysterious female Lombax, well, technically stumbles on her. Perhaps you agree that Clank will team up with her to try and figure out not only his current whereabouts, but what the heck is actually going on in this dimension he wound up in. Not only that, the fact Ratchet has to reunite with Clank gives a lot of a Crack in Time vibes. Now obviously Ratchet will look for Clank one way or another, but I'm starting to wonder if emphasis on reuniting with Clank would mean that Rift Apart's gameplay will be split in two. Kinda like back and forth, like a Crack in Time. A significant portion of that game you had to play as Clank separately. In other words, a good portion of Rift Apart will have us play as the female Lombax, I believe. After all, the box art seems to imply that Lombax girl will play a significant role. This might feel like a Crack in Time 2.0, but what would make Rift Apart different this time is the fact that not only we have Clank and Ratchet separate, but we have this mysterious female Lombax in the equation. Think of two different play styles, but similar to Ratchet in the long run because, we're going to be controlling the female Lombax. She was confirmed playable. We're not just potentially looking at separate Clank gameplay, but a teaming up scenario with this mysterious character. The word future in this case would mean eventually at some point in the game. Next info card, we have Ratchet's Omni Wrench. For some reason this time it's in first person. Can't live without my Omni Wrench. Is it me or is Terratanium a new term in the series? It rhymes with Raritanium. I'm not saying it's replacing that. In fact, the digital deluxe edition of the game confirms the return of Raritanium, a term we're familiar with. Terratanium, could you imagine this being a new sort of collectible? Overthinking brain in action right now. I'd love to have that sort of classical desert type exploration, looking for materials. And yeah, since this is the PS5, haptic feedback will also be tied to the Omni Wrench. Ratchet's pet peeves. Goons for less. I take it goons means an alternate version of thugs from going commando, or maybe they just don't like using the term thug anymore? Who knows really? What the description entails, these goons were hired, and I take it by none other than Dr. Nefarious. I am surprised that Nefarious hired squishies, which is a term used for organic life form. Well, I mean, Nefarious could be planning to turn them into robots eventually, backstab them. The part that says don't skip leg day, part of me is a bit skeptical as to the type of humor they're going with for Rift Apart. But hey, we haven't seen much of the game, so I'd rather not jump to conclusions and set up myself for disappointment. Anyway, with that said folks, this is it for the video, so as usual, I will try my best to update you guys with anything Rift Apart. Alright, so thank you for watching, thank you for the support, and as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.